Well, hi there.
Hi.
So this is Ingrid. Hello, I really exist. With Melody Fusion, and it was such a pleasure to hook up with you, Emma. Emma was referred to us through a friend of mine, Leanne, who you know. A little bit more about Emma. Emma's been a wonderful musician. She's here in Colorado. We're actually right now here at the Swirl Wine Bar. It is a Friday evening, going on 6 o'clock, and you're going to perform here soon. I'm waiting for my sweetheart to show up, and we're going to enjoy her performance after this. And she was very gracious to say yes to an interview. So thank you.
Well, thanks for having me.
It's fun. It's fun. You know, I get to practice with you. So yay. A little bit more about Emma. I'm going to quote here from your website.
Sure.
With French influences from your heritage and personal time spent in Paris, Emma Bach is a lyrical, quirky, and sensual singer-songwriter. Emma interweaves violin and vocal melodies to create the experience of two connected voices. She integrates sultry, operatic tones stylized by Eastern European melodic patterns and looped harmonies. And there's more. But I did listen to some of your tracks, of course, and especially the C'est Nous, the EP that you first produced in 2011, December 1st. I looked it up. And I tried to translate it because I speak a little French, but I couldn't. So could you tell us a little more about C'est Nous, and that was really seemed like that you started?
Yeah, well, I would say, I believe that there's actually many beginnings to a musical journey into life, and so I would say that it was definitely one of my beginnings, but I have been performing since I was about 5 years old, and went to music school and been doing a lot. I toured and traveled with the Teen World Choir from the age of 11. Like, I've done a lot of stuff, and I recorded my first demo actually when I was 17. But it is unreleased.
Okay.
But this really was my first kind of step out into the world, sharing my music and the music that felt really true to my heart. That it's kind of an integration of all different influences from all of that background. So it really was that stepping out a little bit more and starting to have more confidence on stage and starting to tour and starting to perform. And I recorded it at Europa University. It was part of my senior project to graduate, and I got a whole bunch of wonderful musicians involved and recording engineer, and kind of did the whole thing and produced the whole thing.
That's absolutely wonderful. So that was 2011, and a lot has happened since.
Yeah.
So say a little more.
Well, let's see. What's happening right now is I'm actually going to be touring full-time starting in July.
Oh my.
So I am I'm based in Colorado, and I'm actually right now kind of based between here and San Francisco. I've been expanding out there a lot, doing a lot of touring out there. But I am going to be on the road full-time, choicefully homeless. And so that's kind of the big thing. In my Subaru Outback.
Your Subaru Outback, all right.
Yep. And
I'm so sorry to bother you. Can you aioli on the sliders?
that would be awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay.
We're here at Swirl doing our food and our wine.
Need to have some food and some wine and beer. There you go.
So that's kind of the big thing I've been working on, and the other piece of that is that I am working on a new album. And this is really, about a year ago I split from my band that I had done the C'est Nous album with, and I started doing my solo thing. And with that I started looping, using a loop pedal. So it was really the beginning of how do I be a violinist and a songwriter at the same time and really still create the full sound that I long for. And so I started looping. And with that came a birth of a whole bunch of new songs that feel even more true to who I am as an artist and as a person. And I am now recording those songs with a producer in San Francisco.
That's awesome. So I don't really know what looping is.
Okay, good.
Can you explain that?
I can, yeah, and you'll see it in the show a little bit. So essentially you have a pedal system where you can hit play or hit record on the track.
Okay.
And it will, whatever you play, it will record, and then when you hit it again, it will play that back.
Oh,
so
got it.
you can create different layers essentially.
I've seen that happen before. I just didn't know the term.
Yeah, got
Okay,
it. Yeah,
great.
and it's becoming very popular. I think a lot of artists are finding that they're able to be more solo, I guess, do more by themselves.
And then you can add the layers, but you can also take them off again.
To an extent, it depends on what pedal you have. So I
Okay.
have the RC30, the Boss RC30 pedal,
Okay.
and that I mostly can't take things away. It's mostly just adding.
Okay.
But people use it really differently. In my heart, I'm a songwriter, so
Yeah.
I loop the way that a songwriter would loop, whereas someone that is more interested in kind of long soundscapes or different kinds of maybe electronic music or different sounds might loop differently. So it's unique to style for sure.
Okay. Well, no, that's really great because I don't know how different types of musicians would use the same equipment differently. So thank you for that explanation.
Yeah.
It's very wonderful. So how did you get to play here at Swirl Weinbach?
Well, I actually can't remember exactly how I found Swirl, but I kind of tend to have a knack for finding hidden gems of venues, and I kind of at this point know what I look for in a venue, the venues I want to play, and it really has to do with atmosphere and the kind of people that I feel like are going there, the people that I think will like my music, which I really, just a little tip here for some musicians. I think when you're looking for venues, it's really important to keep that in mind about where the people that are going to be your fan base, because otherwise, unless you're getting paid a ton, which you probably aren't at first, it's not really worth playing. For me, it's not worth playing sports bars, places where a lot of my fans may not be.
Right.
Whereas if you're maybe a soul artist or a rock band, like playing a sports bar is exactly where you want to be.
Okay.
So, anyways, a little side note there. But how I really found Swirl, I think just through internet searches, and maybe I'm pretty sure that it was just kind of Facebook, internet, like what I wanted to find more venues in the Colorado Springs area, because I'm pretty clear on like the Denver and Boulder and Fort Collins scene, but wanted to play more here. So just searching, really, and then kind of looking at photos, and I read their mission statement and said, yes, this is a venue that.
Okay. Well, that actually kind of ties into what I was going to ask you next, because there are a lot of different ways you can promote yourself. And in this case, you were talking about how you found a venue that you would like to play at, and then it's a matter of approaching them. So there are a lot of different ways to go about that, right? What do you use? Like, which sites do you use? Do you Google? Do you look on Facebook? Do you look at other musicians like yourself and see where they play? How do you kind of go about it for promoting yourself?
For promoting or for finding venues?
Promoting yourself.
Promoting myself.
Yeah.
So, the biggest thing is I'm always, like I kind of mentioned, on the path of like how do I build my fan base. And so a lot of my promotion is to continue to have a relationship with the people that have already expressed interest in my music. So that looks like I have a very extensive mailing list that I blog on. I send blogs out about every other week, and I send all my shows, and I really interact with the people that have gotten on my mailing list. And then at every show, I make sure that I'm always not just inviting people to be on the list, but I actually walk around the room and I talk to every single person, if I can, that's there, and invite them to be on the mailing list.
Okay.
So that's a big way that I promote, and I tend to have pretty good turnout from that. Okay. And then second to that would be social media, for sure. Facebook in particular, Reverb Nation. And I would say those are the big ones, Twitter. And so I do a lot of shout outs through social media. Flyers, for sure, handbills, all of that. And I think that the thing for me, like where I'm at right now, is there's the promoting of every show, and then there's the long-term promotion of how do I really build a fan base. Okay. So right now, in terms of that, like I'm starting to do a video series of putting out, onto YouTube every month or so, putting out a new video of me playing and trying to draw in new people through that. I'm hooked into CD Baby. I'm going to be writing an article for their blog and kind of trying to reach more people through CD Baby. I think Melody Fusion is awesome. It's really needed because that is just connecting through more music community. So there's always short-term promotion, mailing lists, social media, networking sites, long-term promotion, live shows, playing shows with other musicians that may have their fans may like my music, and trying to build my fan base that way, and then and touring, and then through online mediums like social media.
So how much time would you say you kind of spend per week on promotion and doing the social media and being on various websites?
Well, honestly, probably not as much as I should.
Okay, good.
And the reason I say that is my sort of I'm a total businesswoman as well, which I think most musicians need to be. And so my thought around that is technically you should be spending about 40% of your time, 30 to 40% of your time on promotion, or in the business world, you'd say marketing.
Yeah.
So how much time do I actually spend? I would say I include booking shows in my calendar. I block out booking and promo. I probably spend about 8 to 10 hours a week booking and promoting.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Then lastly, and that's really not minorly, I was very enthused to hear that you have a nonprofit as well, and you offer workshops. And could you shed a little light on that?
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, actually, first of all, it's not a nonprofit.
Oh, I thought it was a nonprofit. Sorry.
That's fine. That's totally fine.
It's part of your business then.
It's part of my business model, absolutely. And I think, it's just like really important for musicians to have multiple ways to really have it work for them. And it's totally my passion. So I love what I'm going to talk to you about, this work. I love it as much as I love performing, for sure. It's like the deepest longing of mine is to contribute to other musicians, and that's what this is about. So it's called She Sings Out Loud, or SOUL is the acronym. And what I do is I help women singer-songwriters and performers move from experiencing fear and doubt and resignation about their singing and about their music to being able to own the stage with confidence, courage, and connection, so that they can build the music career of their dreams and actually make an impact on the world with their music and their message. So that's what Soul does, and we do that through a series of mostly weekend intensive and 3-month programs where we work with the core principle that I have discovered in myself and with working with other women, which is that to actually be confident on stage, we have to first learn to receive attention and be comfortable with attention on us. And so we do a deep process in women's community, in pairs, and in being up in front of the other women, with just practicing being able to receive attention on us and working through all of the emotional barriers that come up around that, including old ingrained patterns about being allowed to have a voice in the world, being being safe to have attention on us, and it being not selfish to have attention on us.
Okay.
Because really, as a musician, when you get on stage, you are saying, see me and hear me.
Yes.
And if there's anything around, I'm not allowed, or I shouldn't, or why, or am I selfish, do I want to be famous, all this stuff that we deal with, then it's really challenging, and that's where stage fright actually comes from, is that challenge.
Got it.
That.
Okay.
So,
and then to keep that healthy, I would think in the long run, to keep it as a healthy attention too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So a lot of the women that I've worked with, they end up having, major breakthroughs, even, around relationships and around their just life work. Thank you. They just have amazing breakthroughs of what it just out in the world, what it's like to be able to receive attention, and a lot of the old stuff. I think what you're speaking to is like the unwanted attention too.
Unwanted attention,
right.
And then maybe, the craving for the attention, like that's really what it comes about for some people.
Well, yeah, and what that is really is, I believe that when we, underneath that is a lack of confidence and a lack of it being okay to be the center of attention, and really more than that, it's not honoring the gifts that we offer. So music is an incredible healing force in the world. And a lot of what musicians are dealing with is that my music doesn't matter, my voice doesn't matter. And so to push against that, we become obsessed with ego and attention and trying and forcing and proving and needing to be better and all of that stuff. So really, when we honor that we have this amazing gift to offer and we're allowing ourselves to receive attention and then offering that gift fluidly, it all kind of works itself out. So that's really what it's about. And then from there, what we work on is, after that's in place, how to build a career as a music in the music industry, and how to build a global audience around you of people that want to receive the gift that you have to offer and that are your witnesses and you can receive them. So.
Yeah, it's very, very true. I mean, there are certain songs, certain musicians, that I use for certain moods for myself, and I like to listen to this for this and this for this.
Totally.
Cleaning house works for this,
Totally.
Yes.
Yeah.
So thank you for your gift. I'm going to look forward to enjoying it. And I would say enjoy your food.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time. Is there any other words of wisdom that you would like to share? Or I know you could probably go on.
I could go on forever. I know, I'm a talker. I don't know if all musicians are a talker, but I'm a talker. But I really, I think the thing is, I invite all of you who might be watching this to check out my website, which is shesingsoutloud.com. And there is a lot of more information about that work and some great advice. And there's also going to be a masterclass up with Melody Fusion, I hope. So check out those words of wisdom. And then, really, trust yourselves. Trust the gift that you bring. Keep diving in deeper. And just remember that it's never hard. It's not hard to be a musician. It just is a process. And we have to be where we are in the process. So if you're at the beginning of your career and, maybe you're struggling with even how do I book shows and put myself out there, or maybe you've been doing this for a while and you're struggling with money, or maybe you're not struggling, and shoot me an email, let me know. but just wherever you are, to honor the process and know that it's really at its core, it's about community and connection, and there are the people out there that will want to support you and want to receive the extraordinary gift that you have to bring.
Well, awesome. Thank you. Enjoy your meal.
Thank you.